Hi, everyone. Welcome to Rooted in Realness, where we get honest about what holds us back and what helps us grow. Psychology Today reports that people who struggle with self doubt are less likely to take action on opportunities, even when they're fully qualified, meaning doubt, not ability, often decides success. Did you know that up to 70% of people experience self doubt so deeply it stops them from chasing what they want most? It's proof that fear, not failure, is what truly holds us back. I'm your host, Megan Cloisey, and this is Rooted in Realness. Let's talk. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. Obviously, I'm solo today, but I'm super excited because we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. Today, we're talking about the weight of opinions and the power of persistence. Let's get into it. We will be diving into how other people's opinions, judgments, and even their silence can impact us, and how we should not let that be the case, at least not in a negative way. Don't let that hold you down. Have you ever let an opinion of others, even your own maybe, stop you from doing something that you wanted to pursue? Because I know I have. And it's not easy, you know? A lot of today's episode, pretty much the whole episode, is inspired by that, is inspired by the feedback that I got from my last episode, which I so appreciate if you watched it and you're back. Wow. Honestly, I'm really being genuine. I clearly am smiling from ear to ear because I'm happy to be here. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I appreciate you so much if you're interested or if you're supporting. Either way, thank you. I did not get a lot of positive feedback. I did not get super negative or hateful whatsoever, although it wasn't the desired feedback I was looking for. But it was interesting because for a second, yeah, it bothered me. But in the next second, I thought to myself, wow, there was so much that I could have done better on. There was so much that I could have improved. There's so much that I really could have more strategically and surgically edited, or things that could have been said better. But rather than let that get to me so severely or so negatively, I reframed that thought, right? So now here I am today. I'm like, what can I do to make what I filmed in the last episode better in this episode? So here we are. Hopefully, this one will be a little bit better because that's really all that we need are just those stepping stones, right? Progress, not perfection. Perfection is dope, but sometimes we're not always going to get perfection out the gates, right? So, progress, not perfection. That's something that I like to tell myself. That's something that I like to keep in mind. But it's not easy staying optimistic, right? I know that firsthand. And a lot of times now in my life, though, people will say to me, friends, family, whoever it may be, um, you're very positive. You're very optimistic. You're very happy all the time. And I'm like, yes and no. Yes and no. If you know, you know. But I really believe in remaining optimistic because if not for that, if not for my optimism, I would have been defeated many times by many situations, many people, many words. So yeah, a lot of the time it's easier said than done. It's definitely not easy to stay optimistic, especially when you feel unseen or unheard. That's a downer. That's a bummer. And that does not feel good. I know that does not feel good. And sometimes it's harder to get started when there is judgment from the jump, or people's opinions from the jump, or you maybe don't even have support from the jump. A lot harder to get started when it's like that, and I know that firsthand. As a matter of fact, judgment is the number one reason why people don't start or quit early. Doubt, self doubt creeps in, right? And that's natural. That is so natural. That is natural. But your self doubt does not mean what you're trying to pursue, what you're trying to do is not worth it. Okay? Okay. So next time the fear arises, rather than allow doubt to overcome you, let it fuel you. Oh, it feels so good to be fueled, right? It feels so good to have a full tank of gas. It feels so good to have energy. It feels so good to feel so good. Let's choose to take people's opinions and judgments and use them as our fuel, whether that be positive, negative, neutral. It's so much more powerful when you use these this feedback as fuel. It's so much more powerful. And as somebody who has lived with a lifelong of fear, I'm just living proof. The proof is in the pudding, and unfortunately, I'm the proof and the pudding. Uh, my mom made a note that my posture is really bad on the last one, so trying to improve that today. Unfortunately, the pudding is not just the pudge, it's also I'm wearing brown. What the heck? Why am I wearing all brown today? That just happened. The proof and the pudding. That just happened to make so much sense. But seriously, the power is using the fear as your fuel, or using rather the opinions and the judgments as your fuel. So, how do we do that? Well, it's the power of persistence. Ooh, keyword persistence. Persistence means showing up even when it's hard, even when the applause is not there. Show up. Do it. Just Kevin and I said it in the last episode as well. Do the work in every regard, right? And sometimes that's really hard. The persistence part is hard. It's hard to show up when it's hard, obviously. It's hard. Some days are hard to even get up, get out of bed, right? And it's hard to persist when maybe you don't have support, or maybe the feedback isn't exactly what you desired. Um and the applause is missing, right? Think about this. Planting a seed, right? Doesn't grow overnight. As a matter of fact, my favorite flower is the lotus flower. I have it tattooed on my arm, but the point being, the lotus flower grows underneath throughout through muddy waters and sprouts into this beautiful flower, right? So no matter where you're starting, the point is just get started, just get going. If I didn't start, and I'll tell you this, I don't have a fancy setup. I don't have anything elaborate. I don't have the best things to say right now. I think I have valuable things to say, but that will develop over time. I have great things to share and say, but at the end of the day, just get started. Just start with what you have, start with where you're at. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, fancy, elaborate. Do it. Do it. And seriously, I spoke to a friend of mine, and he said to me, "Hey, I remember us talking like 4 or 5 years ago about you wanting to start a podcast. Look at you now." And I'm like, wow, that's really crazy. Because, yeah, I remember that same conversation, and it has been something I've been wanting to do for a while now. But the one thing that held me back is the fear. Oh my goodness. They're going to say, what are people going to think? Am I going to do well? Is it going to be great or not? Is it going to flop? It's okay because I'm persisting. The point of today's episode is just rather a reminder of persistence, a reminder and the proof in the pudding right here. Just start, just do it, just get going, and don't allow opinions or fears to stop you. If I took the opinions that I heard from my last episode and let that stop me, I would not be sitting here today, obviously. But I would also probably be really sad and really in the dumps, because I could have done so much better. I could have changed so much. I could have, edited better, obviously. But the point being, I learned and kept it pushing. And that's my favorite phrase, is like, keep it pushing. You got this. Proof is in the pudding. I'm the pudding and the proof. If you made it this far, thank you, actually. Leave a little fairy in the comment. That would be so cute, right? Rooted in realness means staying grounded in your why, and your why meaning your purpose, not being swayed by opinions. So here's some reminders for you today based on our conversation. Persist when no one claps. Persist when the feedback isn't exactly glowing like you had hoped. Persist, because progress over perfection. That and keep it pushing are my favorite mottos. And I really hope you enjoyed. Let's choose to not let anyone or anything sway us or stop us from doing the things we want to do. I wouldn't be here today if I let those little silly comments that I heard let me down. So I hope I can be of some sort of motivation If not, thank you for listening anyways. I'll leave you with this. Persist because your voice and your dream is so much bigger than their opinion. Okay? Do you? I'ma do me. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much if you watched this whole video. I so appreciate you being here. I can't wait for the next one. And leave me a comment. What dream would you keep going at if you weren't worried? Thanks again. Kevin and I usually do a little cheers at the end. So today we will cheers to you, to me, to Kev. Shout out, Kev. And to us. To us. Cheers.